I came here and I thought this was the end of it. But I accepted that back then. I accepted that this was gonna be the end of it. Now growing up and seeing the faults of our system and seeing the failures of some of what our system has to offer, I didn't want to be a part of their failures anymore. I wanted to be the success.
Honestly, I've been doing this whole prison thing for the last 2.5 decades. Knowing that I have something functional to go home to has kind of reinforced that I was the problem in that household. Where I think a lot of these guys haven't been able to see themselves as any kind of success because they've never had anything to draw a comparison to for success.
I suffered in the system for a long time. That's what made me want to change. I suffered in the ways of the system telling me, if I keep doing what I'm doing, I'll keep getting what I'm doing. And I think that statement goes both ways, staff and offenders, you know. I have little brothers who grew up with me, who followed me in here. I'm an example of negativity to some of my homies who are suffering in other aspects of the prison. The only way to get this is the desire to change.
Yeah, it's a huge influence on it, right?
Huge influence on our egos, most definitely.
I'm a non-active gang member around a bunch of active gang members. I was blessed and somehow pulled up to Ironwood where I met Fredo. That's where this whole idea started. Was what we had there was called Prevail. That was our version of it then. We were sitting with the lieutenant who asked us, you know, what does this mean to you? What does this actually look like? We took it as something of a dare and wrote a program proposal that we sent off to Director Red and some other people that we felt were hopefully influential enough to listen to what we had going on.
So S.O.L.I.D is run for and by offenders. We had a group of offenders that had some ideas and concepts.
And whether he's living up to the expectations, his expectations as well as those of society.
They have to ask to come here. They write us a letter either on paper or they can submit their application or their request through the tablet and we put them on a list.
Getting here to S.O.L.I.D and actually seeing everything that we were trying to create come to fruition and seeing the kind of support that we're getting from your executive offices all the way down to, you know, just the staff on the unit has been incredible. The relationship that we're able to build with those guys on the block, you know, from your COs to your sergeants to lieutenants up to our captain has been like something I've never experienced before.
What is happening is men sharpening men, just like iron sharpen iron. Each and every day, we create a culture that is an example to the rest of the prison. Each and every day, people wake up to be motivated to accept change.
All the offenders go to the peer leaders if they have concerns for us. And so we get it kind of funneled through that way, and they put it also on paper. We have a shout out box and a suggestion box. We've had offenders make suggestions and we've implemented them.
This tendency to focus on the ending of the destination.
What's happening in Bear 2 in the S.O.L.I.D program is something that I think is going to be transformational for the state of Utah in itself and our correctional system. To be able to communicate with staff and walk closely with staff without having the thought or the feeling like, I hate this man next to me because he wears a badge. There's none of that.
In the last 11, almost 12 weeks, we've only had 3 fights in this building, and they've all been very, very minor. We've had probably 24 fights that have been averted by the peer leaders themselves and other community members. Bringing the guys that want to fight, they bring them together in a mediation, they talk it out, and they communicate why they were about to fight. And at the end, they shake hands, and then they're friends.
You know, we're always trying to coach that person next to us, that guy next to us, to come in and bring him into that mindset that we're in, which is that we're tired of doing this. Like myself, who have gone through the old kind of prison up to this new style of living where we can tell those guys, hey, look, this is the stuff I had to go through. This is the stuff that you get to avoid because I made those mistakes for you. What I'm seeing now is that everybody, and I want to say everybody, not just the most, everybody there in that building is doing their best to look out for the guy next to them. They're actually, I'm seeing accountability being breeded within that building. I'm seeing boundaries being drawn and respected. And it's not just an us against them kind of mentality anymore. We're seeing that the staff there that are working with us in the building are part of that collective community.
Give me an example.
It's literally us helping each other change through our experiences in life. Every single person in that building I can relate to in one way or another. Some of the staffs that are in that community I can relate to in one way or another. I've had the opportunity to teach seminars with some of our staff members who came from the same background I did, but yet they chose the badge and I chose to be the inmate. For us to come back together in a full circle moment and help each other out and understand the differences of where we started our change has been very beneficial and very rewarding for a lot of us.
I see a lot of hope with these guys. I've known a lot of these guys over the years, and they're coming over here and they're standing tall.
They're our people. Let's come back in here and help our people and give them another sight of hope that they've never seen before.
They would rather have somebody like you guys that come out that want to work.
I've been seeing these guys just transform in the last 11 and a half weeks. And we're only 11 and a half weeks in. Can't wait to look backwards after about a year and see where we're at.
I don't think there's anything stronger in the world than hope. You know, you can take everything away from a person and crush them, but if you can give that person with nothing a little bit of hope, that, you know, that can breathe life right back into them and bring it right back from the brink of death.
There's ups and downs, there's, you know, days of discomfort, days of disagreements and here and this through decisions that we make in the program. But at the end of the day, we always come together and have each other's backs. That's gonna be a challenge that only I as a man will have to face when I get out of these walls, right? Being able to take all the tools and the skills I've learned here, take it to the streets and stick to it. All that comes from practicing being in here, getting up every single morning no matter what.
Personally now I'm learning boundaries for the first time in 42 years, you know? I'm learning that it's okay for me to be accountable to myself and to those around me, and that it's okay to hold other people accountable and ask them to respect my boundaries as well. As far as me having hope for going home and being successful, I've never felt hope like this. I've never felt like I really had a chance to do something different with my life.
The end goal is to come back in here and give back to my people. Every inmate, every offender, every staff that's in here, if those guys can do it, why can't we do it? This is the start of it, sticking to it. But I believe in success, I believe in the changes that I've made so far in my life, that I'm strong enough to walk out of these gates and live a better life from now on.